Hello, good night. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments. Tonight, I'm focusing on your questions. I want to make sure that you have an outlet to ask questions, while you should also keep in mind that this is not personal legal advice. This is general information that I'll be providing. But having this resource like this live is helpful to you to be able to at least understand your process, understand your situation, and be able to figure out how to move forward to get assistance. So put your questions in the comments now. So just to start, as I wait for questions, for those of you who are just joining, and for me for the first time, I know we do this every night, but if you're joining me for the first time, if you're joining me for the first time, I'm U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I help clients to get their papers here in the U.S. And I cannot wait to help you to be able, so I'm just wiping something off here. I can't wait to help you get started. I see somebody here saying, I want to get started. Give us a call. We're 24/7. So give us a call so that we can get started and figure out a solution for you. All right. So put your questions in the comments. That's why I am here. I'm here to answer your questions. So put your questions in the comments now so that I can answer your questions. Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm seeing here about an RFE. So that can be stressful. RFEs can be stressful, of course. And I don't know what your situation is, but it's such an important time to work with the attorney to be able to submit the RFE on time and with the information that they need. We had a situation where we got an RFE for a T visa recently, and it was quite a whopper because, of course, under this administration, they are going to issue, that's going to be something that is expected, our request for evidence. And what we did is we made sure that our client cooperated with us, that they provided us the information, that we met at least 2 or 3 times to be able to go over the information and to be able to provide the specific information they need. And we submitted it. And lo and behold, within a month, we got their approval for our client to get the T visa. So that goes to show that, yes, things may be a little more difficult and demanding, and we may get requests for evidence. That's why it's very important to make sure you do have a competent, experienced immigration attorney who is going to be equipped to respond, because you can definitely expect more requests for evidence during this time, during this administration, while we focus on solutions that are written in the books that can't just be taken away. We have to understand that they are going to approach cases differently, and they are going to be more demanding on those requirements. So I hope you do resolve that issue with the attorney, and that you get back on track. All right. Can someone on welfare help someone get a green card? It may be possible, but it depends on, so it's, now when we talk about, I'm assuming you're saying, can someone on welfare sponsor someone to get their green card? Yes. However, what usually being on welfare means that you make, the person, individual, probably makes under the poverty line. And in order to qualify to be a sponsor, to show the financial support, you have to make at least 125% above the poverty line. It depends on household size. So it depends on the household size of the person and how much they're bringing in. And is it welfare or is it another form of what? And what do you mean by welfare? Are they getting cash assistance or are they getting food stamps? Are they getting even so disability and social security? So we would have to, what the first thing I do is I find the income and I look at the total uh, income and household size. And that's going to tell me whether they're going to meet that standard, whether they're on welfare or not. So that's going to be the first step. If they cannot qualify to sponsor based on, no, they can petition, but to sponsor for the affidavit of support, you can get a co-sponsor to do that as well. So it's not the end of the road. It's not impossible. You can search for a co-sponsor. I filed for my husband I-130 permanent resident since December 2022, but still processing. I would have to understand. So you're either a permanent resident or a U.S. citizen. And so we have to go from there. Is your spouse in the US or outside of the US? Outside of the US takes longer. So, guys, I'm going to give you a realistic timeline on the processing outside of the US. You're looking at least 2 years for the green card process if your spouse is outside of the US. Can someone on welfare? So I answered that. Thanks so much for the gifts. That means a lot because not only it means that I welcome the love, of course, but it also means that people are seeing this. The more you like this, the more you engage in the post as you are, even on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, more people are seeing it to get information that may empower them, and they can see that this can serve as a resource to have their general their answers to general questions. Are there any changes on advanced parole? I mean, travel ban, not on advanced parole. No, so no changes on advanced parole. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Thank you. Houston or Gust Houston, thank you. I appreciate it. And everybody who's sending love and gifts, I appreciate it. With a fee for the T visa, would you get the work permit and green card with that fee? So if you're talking about my fees, so keep in mind that the T visa is a different case than getting a green card. So the fees, our fees are based on case types. And so it definitely would not include the green card. That's a separate process because T visa leads to the green card, but having the T visa does not mean it's automatically now transferred into a green card process. That's a whole separate process. So what happens is our clients, once we close our clients' cases for the T visa, they got the T visa. The next thing is once they get the T visa, they'll come back to us and they will open up a green card process to get their green card after getting the T visa. So it's a two-step process, two different cases. What's a check-in letter? So sometimes, so some people are getting check-in letters where you do have to go into the ICE, like a location to be able to do a check-in. Now that could be a routine check-in or that could be something more. Definitely get legal advice, understand your rights, understand the pros and the cons. Before doing this, make sure you're getting legal advice, make sure you're seeking counsel to understand the implications of this. Definitely go ahead and you can definitely DM us and you can give us a call as well. Why did that RFE, as mentioned, never show on USCIS on my case? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. So if you're talking, I'm not your attorney. You'd have to talk to your attorney about that. How long does a travel permit take in a VAWA case? I have 12 months. So I'd say about 12 months is the average time I'm seeing. So you might see it any minute now. Okay, scrolling through, just looking for more questions. Okay, so I'm going to move on to Facebook and YouTube. How are VAWA cases moving? Same as before. The only thing I would say is receipt notices are taking longer. So we're seeing 3 to 4 months. I am expecting that to stabilize after things get settled, but everything is moving as normally. Clients are getting prima facie notices, work permits, travel documents as normal, except it's just taking longer to get to those now. Work permits still taking the same timeline though. So we're still seeing work permits and travel documents coming between 6 to 12 months for VAWA. I applied for VAWA since March 2022. When do you think I will be getting a decision? Could be this year or early next year. It's taking about 3.5 years. Now, keep that, it's on average. There is a way to check the range of time that USCIS is actually taking, because if you want to see their timeline, I go based on the experiences of my clients. The average timeline right now is 3 to 3.5 years to get to the end of the VAWA case. But you can look at theirs, you may see it even longer. So you may see it get into 48 months. A range of time. So you can see a range of time, but it's up to 48 months. That doesn't mean your case is going to be 48 months, but it means that the longest case is taking 48 months now. Good night. Hello, good night. Oh, thank you so much, Judith. I appreciate that encouragement. I really do. My VAWA is approved, work permit and travel document approved. They requested medical. I submitted medical, received on July 14th. Until now, haven't heard anything back from USIS. Is it normal? Yes. No need to panic. We have had clients where we've sent the medical and then we get the green card. So it ranged between 4 months and a year to get that green card. So it's normal. And they may call you in for an interview. So that may happen as well. But keep in mind, VAWAs, when it comes to the green card stage, they are issuing green cards without interviews. But if they do have questions before they issue the green card, they may do an interview. My appointment interview of my AOS is next month. All the best. Make sure that I don't know if it's a marriage-based AOS. But regardless, make sure you have a copy of everything you filed. Make sure you know your applications front to back. Make sure that if there's any updated evidence that you should be carrying with you, you have it in that interview with you. Make sure that you understand, you talk to your attorney, you prepare for questions that could be anticipated. Make sure you're looking through the application. If you omitted anything, forgot to answer something, or made a mistake, you want to make those corrections there at the interview so that there are no misunderstandings about, honesty or misrepresentation on the application, because that can lead to serious consequences. And make sure you have some of your originals. So make sure you have original birth certificate, original marriage certificate, original divorce decrees, your passport. Make sure you have those with you as well, just in case the officer wants to look at the originals. And then, have a copy if the officer when I go to interviews with my clients, and when all of us are preparing, so my other attorneys with the firm go into interviews, we have copies of everything. And I've been seeing situations where the officer may not have something in a file because it got misplaced, and I could just take it out and hand it to the officer, and that takes care of it. So you just want to have all the documents there, know where everything is, and be ready to provide that to the officer if necessary. If it's marriage based, make sure you're looking at the questions. So they may separate you. And if they separate you, they're going to compare your answer. So make sure you and your spouse, go over your facts together so that you're on the same page. When did you meet? When did you start to live together? If you've submitted certain documents, make sure you, like joint bank statements, make sure you can explain things on bank statements, like expenses together. You can show the officer any expenses on those bank statements. Make sure that if there's any issues about you living together, if you're living apart, if you, for some reason, make sure that's clearly stated and that the both of you can explain that to the officer, that the officer can understand that you are in a bona fide marriage, so that you may have an living situation that's out of the ordinary. Make sure they are looking at taxes. So make sure if you are filing taxes together, that the both of you understand how those taxes are filed. Make sure you understand who filed those taxes. Make sure you understand, are you filing jointly? Are you not filing jointly? Make sure you know each other's relatives. Who are the relatives? Who are your spouse's children? Who are your spouse's in-laws? Make sure the both of you know each other's in-laws, children, family history in general. Those are the types of questions that if they ask, whether you're together or you're apart, they may ask those questions. Know your routine. What's your daily routine? Who sleeps on what side of the bed? Where do you keep how do you keep your house? What's the color of your curtains? I'm giving you really good pearls based on my experience going into these interviews, and these are real questions that they ask. So make sure you go over that. You can also go to the link in the profile, and if you go to the link tree, you can scroll down and you can get a copy of sample interview questions there. You can look those over and it can be fun. I mean, as a couple, you'd be surprised what your spouse will say. How did we meet? They may have a completely different idea about when you met. They may be thinking about the first time you spoke. You may be thinking about the first time you met in person, or if you met online. So just make sure that the both of you are on the same page about what does it mean to say, when was the first time you met? When was the first time you met each other and started talking? When was the first time you met in person? When was the first, who proposed? When did you get engaged? Definitely you should know when you got married. What did you do for each other's birthdays? What did you do for anniversary? Who cooks what food? What's the favorite meals for each person? Those are questions that if you haven't asked your spouse, now is the time to get to know them in that way and ask those questions. All right. Let me see anymore. How long does it take? I-131 through VAWA already approved I-765. So I'd say a year or maybe a little over a year. Can I use psychological evaluations for VAWA if I don't have affidavits? Also an I-130 approved because she was trying to withdraw. So this is a very, very specific question, very specific, and it comes down to strategy. So if these are strategic approaches, these are the kinds of situations where we would have to sit down as a team and go through our clients' facts to determine how to best approach evidence. especially when there's limited evidence. What I would say is a psychological evaluation alone is not going to replace witness statements like affidavits. A psychological evaluation discusses the emotional toll it had on you to show the mistreatment, to show why the behavior of your spouse or your relative was at amounts to abuse or mistreatment or extreme cruelty. It is not there to serve as evidence, credible evidence of the mistreatment. So but this is it is you can use so many things as evidence. You don't need affidavits, but what else do you have? And this is why we're here for our clients, because these are the kinds of things that we're experiencing that we're able to evaluate. Things that our clients don't think about, we're able to say, well, yeah, you can use that as evidence that our clients never thought about. So this is where you should consult your attorney or get an attorney involved for sure. Since everything is approved, just waiting for a green card, is it safe for me to travel with travel document, or should I just wait for the green card as planning to go to Dubai? So this is really a question that you should be asking your attorney. I am being very conservative now, and if you don't need to travel, don't travel. Wait until you get your documentation. Reason being, you're just waiting for the green card, but they haven't made a decision on the green card. So anything can happen while you're away. And if something happens, like you get a notice of intent to deny, or you get a straight up denial while you're outside of the country, you're going to have very little recourse if you're already outside of the country, and you're going to be at an increased risk for being denied re-entry, because that travel document is it's there to help you to travel, but it doesn't mean that you have a right to enter the country. So it depends. I can't tell you whether it's okay for you to travel on a travel document, but the risk is definitely a lot higher now. All right, so now I'm on Instagram. Hello. I'm seeing questions. I'm going to answer these. I am ready to file, but my husband and I are about to move in a few weeks. Should I wait to file after we move? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You don't have to wait until you move in if it's your plan. Have you already signed a lease that you could show, to start? But this is where it's very important to talk to an attorney. You can definitely give us a call and talk to us, because that's why we're here. We're here to help. What are some of the main reasons that emotional abuse VAWA cases are denied? What happens if your VAWA is denied? So definitely not for your VAWA would not be denied for emotional abuse, because emotional abuse is what qualifies one for VAWA. So to say you're being emotionally abused, and does that make your case weaker and could it be denied? If you're being emotionally abused, that's abuse, you qualify. What are some of the common reasons for VAWA denials? Is maybe the evidence isn't credible. So if this happened to you, you don't have much evidence, but you've submitted a statement. How detailed is your statement? If the statement isn't sufficiently detailed, that officer may determine that it's not credible because it wasn't detailed enough to provide information to help them determine that what happened likely happened, or it's believable that it could have happened to you. So people who are not used to drafting legal documents like a declaration may underestimate what's required in a declaration, may do a paragraph or two thinking all they have to state is what happened generally to them. And that's not the case. The declaration has to be sufficiently detailed. The other is if you are emotionally abused, that counts, but can you show that your marriage was bona fide? Can you show that you live together at any point with your relative or spouse? Can you show that you have good moral character? If you fail to show any of those, then you could get a VAWA denial, and those are the most common reasons that there would be a VAWA denial. So get in touch. This is exactly what we help with. Is important in U visa victim to get psychologist if evaluation? Um, Not necessarily. It just depends on the extent to which you have to show the mental or physical abuse involved. But we have gotten our clients to the point of getting their work permit, their deferred action, not on the based on because the situation was so severe, we were able to do that without them um, having to have a psychologist evaluation involved. How long after I-130 approved for out of country for a minor the procedure take? So I would say prepare for 2.5 years. Can my daughter file for me without a landing? So if you did no without a landing, I'm assuming it means that you don't have any proof you entered the country. If you entered the country with a visa, then that you can definitely find you there are ways to show that. But if you entered without inspection, even having a US citizen daughter who's age 21 or older would not straight up fix your situation. My husband and I are waiting 22 months in for T1 and T2 approval. Just want to share that T visa for 2+ people takes longer than one, not necessarily. They do make individual decisions on each case. So we have had situations where we got the T1 approval and then we had to wait for the T2. So they don't have to make decisions all at once. Sometimes they make individual decisions, especially if there's more involved in one case, like a waiver is involved, then so those can be processed separately and not together. Not necessarily, it doesn't mean that it's going to be longer because you file for two people, a derivative involved. Do you know how long does it take filing I-765 to get a response? So family base, I would say 3 to 6 months. VAWA, 6 to 12 months. I have been interviewed for a change of status application since May. Still haven't a response back. Is that normal? I wouldn't say it's out of the ordinary, but you can, if it's been more than 120 days, you can submit a case inquiry that can sometimes nudge them to make a decision or tell you what's going on. How long does it take to get my citizenship? So it can take, it's a matter of months, 2 to 6 months. Keep in mind that processing times are subject to change. What do you receive first when you file for VAWA, prima facie, our work permit, and Social Security? So first, receipt notice, that's acknowledgement that your case has been filed, it's accepted, it's in process. Then you'll get biometrics notice. You may get prima facie determination letter before or after the biometrics, and then work permit and social at the same time. And then after that, approval of the VAWA, and then after that, green card. And of course, that's all on a timeline. Work permits come 6 to 12 months. Biometrics is done, T visa, what's next in the process? So work permit, bona fide determination letter, or a decision on that, and then work permit, and then decision, and then work permit again if you're approved. I am ready to file, but my husband and I are about to move in, so I answered that. Um, I did my biometrics today. How can I get my own copy of my background check? So they don't provide a copy. However, what you can do is you can get your own background check done through like an FBI background check. For VAWA, we do those for our clients. So we arrange for our clients to get those kind of background checks. So we usually know our clients. Actually, we have to know our client's background. That's always going to be the prudent thing to do. So that's one way. And then, your case is in process. So um, maybe a FOIA could possibly reveal a background check, but usually you don't get those. I am ready to file, so answer that. Answer that. Are there any changes on advance parole? Answer that. I got my work permit. How much time for my green card? It depends on what kind of green card you're applying for. Is it family? Is it work? Is it VAWA? Is it T adjustment? Is it asylum adjustment? Is it EB5 adjustment? It just depends on what you're filing for. I would say employment and family, you're looking at 3 to 6 months. VAWA, 6 to 12 months. T visa, 8 to 10 months. So, well, that does not lead to a green card. So I'm thinking it's gonna be, if it's a T visa, you're waiting for the green card. It's 2.5 years for that process to go through. Um, Biometrics is done for T visa. What's next? I answered that. Um, Filed I-589 in November 2023. Still didn't get notification from USCIS. Is it normal? Did you get the receipt notice? If you haven't even received a receipt notice, that's not normal. My green card was returned to USCIS and I don't know what to do. The address was correct. It may be an issue. They may have found a mistake on the card and recall it. Give them a call and they can explain why they recalled it, and you can find out the status of the green card from there. So Dree, go ahead, give us a call and let's get started. It's as simple as giving us a call. The number is going across the screen. So get in touch and let's get started. I'm looking to come on summer work and travel program. What do I need to prepare for the J1? So I'm not sure. We don't usually do J1, the actual J1 sponsorship. Usually that's done by the sponsor. Can I travel on a T visa to Jamaica when approved? What I would say, the T visa, you can apply for a travel document, but you just have to be very wary of the risk of travel. If you get that travel document, you have to be wary of the risk, because T visa is one of those documents that does not guarantee that you will get back in if you travel on a travel document. I'm VAWA approved and 10 months into adjustment of status, medicals, and RFE for my criminal record. And again, so yeah, it's gonna take some time, and I've seen it go for 12 months. Months ago, they denied my case. I refiled again. So yeah, we'd have to understand why you got denied and what the best course of action would be. If I was banned from the USA for lying on my visa application, can I visit other countries? Yes, it's possible. It just depends on their requirements. But absolutely, people visit other countries even if they have an immigration violation in the US. They go on to be okay in other countries. It just depends on their requirements and whether you can meet that country's requirements. How long is it taking to get the T visa? So about 22 months now. If you have work permit, can you travel? Do not travel with your work permit. What happens is sometimes they issue the travel document on the work permit card, and that's called a combo card. If you do not have that travel document on the work permit, you cannot travel with the work permit, travel outside of the US with a work permit. Now, if you're in the United States, a work permit can serve as identification to travel domestically. Good night. Can you travel with a work permit and your passport state to state? Okay, so um, yeah, so the work permit, keep in mind, check with the airline, check with the airport. But I believe when I did check documents that can be used in place of the real ID, the work permit was listed as an alternative document as well. How much is a VAWA? So if you're talking about attorney fees, it depends on what your case. So this is why we do individual evaluations, because we have to determine what it's going to take. Each case is different. There are, when it comes to fees, there are no fees for the VAWA application right now, but for attorney fees, it just depends. But this is where I say get started, call us. We start with a free initial evaluation. That's going to help us to determine whether there is possibly something we can help you with. It's not legal advice, but it's a start to help you to feel comfortable with moving forward with a strategy session. In the strategy session, when we go over everything, we tell you how we plan to approach your situation and your case, then we will provide you the quote. Please, do you prep couples for interviews? We prep our clients. So we don't usually do this for anybody who's not our clients, but we do prep our clients for interviews when they're our clients. The way our service works is we do their case, we represent clients through the entire process. So our clients are not only just paying for us to prepare and file their case, but we manage their case, monitor it, continue to advocate for our clients through the entire process. And a part of that is the prepping for the interview. I-360 SIJS can travel if you have a travel document, or you have a work permit, you have official ID. Do you know how long it takes after filing I-765, which is the work permit application, to get response? So it can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 months, depending on how they're processing those. And then after that, you're looking at a couple months. It can range anywhere from 3 months to 12 months to get the actual work permit. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. What are my chances of getting back to the USA after living there for about 20 years, leave and trying? If you've overstayed your visa here in the US, you leave, you overstay over a year and you leave, that is leading to a 10-year bar automatically. So it just depends on what are the immigration consequences connected to you leaving and staying here for 20 years. Hi, on December is going to be 1.5 years, and second prima facie through VAWA. How much longer? So I would say at least another 1.5 to 2 years for that decision. I filed I-130, 485, 765. So those are the documents in May. Still no answers. That's a concern. Did you get the receipt notice? Getting the receipt notice is normal within the timeline. However, if you have nothing, if you filed in May, you still haven't gotten receipt notice, I would say, that's fairly unusual. Check on it. And that's why I also say track your packages. Don't just send it by regular mail and just blindly assume that it got to the office. Make sure you track the mailing and you confirm that it was delivered, signed by an officer at the USCIS. That way you know it's there. It's just that maybe correspondence is a little delayed. What are some questions for U.S. citizens that already file a green card for spouse? So they usually will ask they may ask the same questions. How did you meet? Who pays the bills? When did you move in together? Who proposed? Who is paying who pays the rent, who got the apartment or the home that you're living in. They're going to ask questions, the same questions of both of you, to just compare and see how you answer, or the officer might keep you together, but look at how you answer questions. Okay. What do you receive first when you file VAWA prima facie? So the receipt notices first. How long does it take to get my citizenship? So I answered that. Still going through to see. How long after I-130 approved for out of country for a minor the procedure will take? So I would say once it's approved, plan for another at least year and a half. Can my daughter file for me? So I answered that. Let's see. I'm in the state for a year after filing. My son was on my filing with a status of to follow. How do I go about starting the process to get him here? So it depends. Does he show as being here in the U.S. or outside of the U.S.? If your son was shown as they would be doing adjustment of status, or that they are here, you may need to have file a special application to have the file sent down to the embassy to process your son's case. So it just depends on where your son is. Give us a call, though. That is going to be very important now. While I'm giving general information, I need to let everybody know that the best way you're going to protect yourself, you're going to safeguard your process, is to ensure that you're at least getting legal advice and you have an attorney that's advocating for you through all this process, because it's complicated now. And we are dealing with an administration that can, can do certain actions that railroad your case, or that if a mistake happens, it can railroad your case, because right now what they have said is they're making changes, and if they see any mistakes in your case, they can deny. You don't want to be in a situation like that where they're not giving chances. Do you do ITIN? Absolutely. Give us a call. We are doing ITINs, so we'd love to talk to you. I'm a certified acceptance agent, so we do ITINs as well. 6 months now and no bona fide letter or work permit for T. Do you know what may be the issue? So if some people applied before August 28, 2024, they are not issuing those bona fides for people before then. They're only focusing on people on or after then. And it's taking a while. So there is, a delay. So if you filed afterward, there is a delay, and some people may have to wait a couple months, 6 to 8 months, or 6 to 10 months to get these documents, at the bona fide determination or the work permit. And in some cases, they don't intend to issue a bona fide. It's a discretionary benefit. It is not. It is not something that's an entitlement. And so, if they make the decision that they are not going to issue it, you may just not get one. You may just have to wait for the decision. File teen March, approximately how long for EAD? So right now I'm seeing 8 to 10 months for the EAD. Good night. Can an attorney go with a disabled person to an N400? Absolutely. We've done that for our clients. Just to see them through, make sure that they got if they're supposed to get the disability waiver, that we can present that there at the interview in some cases. You're welcome, Nadia. It's nice to see you. All right, I am going to call it a night. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I'm going to be back tomorrow again. So just like, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell. This is how I'm gonna hit your timeline. Whenever I come on, you'll get notification. This also helps other people to be able to see this information that can empower them through these times and their immigration journey. What I want to leave you with though is you're never going to get to a solution if you don't take action. Don't hide in the shadows. That's get what you can do instead of just hiding, not sure how to move forward. Start with a confidential evaluation with us, and we can be able to tell you whether there's a legal solution for you. I can tell you that that has been a major comfort for me, because actually working in this field is very hard, guys, but I see hope every day. So I am positioned I am positioned in a way that I can see work permits coming in. I can take proactive action that helps clients to be protected and not end up becoming detained because they're following a legal process that qualifies them for benefits. Now, our firm, no matter where you are in the process, can help you to either get protection, get the ability to live and work here, or to prevent deportation if you are going through removal. We have worked on expanding our removal defense service so that if you are even in court, get in touch with us so we can start to work on your defense. Preparation is going to be key, and that's what has brought me hope, is the fact that I am using the law that is in place to help my clients get protection, and it's working. So please make sure you take action, because I can't help you if you don't take action. Our phone line is 24/7, so call anytime that you are ready to talk. But what I want to say is, don't just sit and wait until something happens. My clients who have been proactive, taken action, they are winning because of that. All right. So have a good night. See you tomorrow, guys. And I'm really looking forward to working with you. Just give us a call. Let's talk and we can work with you. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks so much for the love. We have 6.4 thousand likes on TikTok. And of course, I thank you on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram for all your engagement as well, because all these great questions, and it also helps others to see the information and be able to participate. All right.